Princess Miyuki, or is the fragrance? You guys, the fragrance. Hello and welcome back. My name is Dara, and today we are making an antique pink arrangement. I always use the marble Lazy Susan to design on. I love this so much. And then I have a very special vase here today that I prep with 3/8 inch felt pads. The pads that they usually come with are not good enough to protect surfaces, so I take those off and secure with Loctite gel. And then I make a galvanized chicken wire dome. I cut off the end of the piece, put it in the bottom of the vase, and then go ahead and make that structure. And I use two different types of wire cutters, and I have two different options for you there. And now we use the 1/4 inch waterproof Oasis tape. This perfectly matches the white vase that I have here today. I do a little crisscross over top and then secure at the upper brim of that vase. And then just go ahead and reinforce that tape and flower food. And then if you've been here for a second, you know that I really love geranium. This is beautiful, citrusy lemon geranium today. And I've also said this in other videos, but geranium really likes hot water when you're processing and prepping. So that really helps to hydrate that hardy green. And then I'm really going in and editing these stems down. These had big, long laterals, and then I take off any of the foliage that would have been submerged underwater, as well as anything that looks kind of brown or just not so hot. And now we have amazing, this is the antique aspect of this arrangement, and also I always start my arrangement with the hydrangea because it's the biggest flower. This particular stem, or bunch rather, was sold the way like it appeared to be individual stems, but it was actually one big stem with a bunch of laterals. So when you are purchasing product, just make sure you inspect because it might not be suitable for your size arrangement that you're making. And here's another, what I think looks antique to me. This is pieris japonica. Usually this flower has a lot of fragrance. This bunch was not so much, but essentially I turn those stems around and put them in the position that I think looks best for the arrangement that's showing off the flowers. And now we have this really beautiful, matches the antique hydrangea, this lisianthus. Lisianthus has been looking incredible lately. And I do the same thing. It's not fully reflexing, but I'll do like fluff them out a little bit. And I'm just clustering those in groups here so that we get a nice concentration of color. I'm just creating really dense pockets of lisianthus. Slightly loose though. There's about an inch depth between each bloom, so it's kind of got this in and out action. And then the rest of the flowers that we're using will create more of a canvas. Another beautiful mauve carnation. You've seen this a lot in my videos, and I just love this. It's one of my favorite carnations to use, and I always fluff those out as well. Every single flower that goes into the arrangement gets highly edited as I'm designing, and of course, if they weren't processed, this particular arrangement was a same day order, so I basically had to process as I was designing. So you're seeing that here, and trimming off any of the laterals because all of those little stems and laterals take away energy from the main bloom, and you want all of that hydration to go to that bloom so that it lasts longer. And this misty green Queen Anne's lace, this is one of my favorite filler flowers to use because it's kind of the same size and shape and depth as a carnation, which is another really good filler flower. My favorite rose, I've said this is a purple moon rose, and I kept it secret in a couple other videos, but I'm sure it's becoming a little bit more popular now. So this is a really gorgeous antique. The color spectrum on this rose is just incredible. It's like a caramel and a lavender and sometimes brown. It just is like this antique-y lavender, what I would consider kind of like a dusty lavender color. and really just played off gorgeous with those hydrangea. And then we have blueberry rose and a really special Princess Miyuki rose. The fragrance, you guys, the fragrance. Super fragrant. I'm really bummed when I don't get the amount of time to process flowers because these flowers doubled in size. So also just keep that in mind when you're designing because it will affect the overall shape of your arrangement. Had I a day or two to let these open out, it would have been a totally different arrangement. And I think that the overall arrangement still kind of looks the same, but it is slightly more compact. So if you want something just a little bit more loose, make sure to let those open out. But sometimes we don't have the time to do that, so we do what we can. Now this incredible zinnia. This is a summer gorgeous local flower and also matches that amazing purple moon rose. Again, stripping off all of that foliage, cutting off any nodes, and trimming the ends of the stems as always to ensure optimum hydration. And lots of laterals on these guys. So I just break off all of those pieces and then strip everything off that I need to, set those aside and use the biggest pieces first, the tallest, fill in where I need to, and then the shorter pieces I use in lower parts of the arrangement. So that's good to remember as you're designing. Sometimes stems stick out, so I took that out here. Just give it another fresh cut because it probably sealed from being dry for a couple minutes. So you want to make sure to cut the ends of any stems that are exposed to air for longer than 30 seconds. And then still filling in with some of those smaller pieces is a really great way to use those smaller laterals. So save those smaller pieces for the bottom of the arrangement and the taller ones for the taller parts of your arrangement. Now we have this freckled cymbidium orchid. This was just so special. I think I got the last one that was at market, and if you need to see how to tube and stake orchids, I will link that video up to the right here for you. But individual orchid blossoms do need to be tubed and staked, and sometimes I use the ends of rose stems or hyacinth sticks to attach those on. And yeah, just going in and filling in whatever holes or whatever places felt like they needed a little bit more color. I don't like to see dark holes. And I'd also like to announce that I will be hosting a Flora Lux design class in Los Angeles and eventually as well as online. If you would like to join and have a live experience creating some of my signature arrangements, be sure to sign up for my email list below. The website link is in the description box, and I'm very excited to host you. I always end my arrangements with finishing touch. I give it a vigorous shake, and then you can't see it in frame here, but I turn the arrangement as I spray, giving it a generous mist, not too much so that it's like huge droplets, but enough that it has like a nice fine mist over it. And here we have it. Here is the final look. I am obsessed with this color palette. I think this is my all-time favorite go-to, and just a really special thank you arrangement for a fabulous client. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. We'll see you next time.